Hi, welcome to Ely Brick Show, and we're doing a GBC workshop today. So it's slightly different to some of the other GBC videos that are on the show. So you'll be able to see lots of displays of GBC modules working. I know Duncan's got one of his videos on. I think there's some others as well. So you'll be able to see GBC in action. But this video is just talk a little bit and tell you a bit about what makes GBC, how it works, how we can make all these machines work together, some of the sort of standards and some of the basics, and where you can get started if you fancy having a go, because there's no reason why anybody can't start having a go at building these machines. My children have built these from quite a young age because you can follow instructions to do them, but also some of the very basic instructions. My 8-year-old built his own module from no instructions, just the basic idea, because once you know how they work, you can do that. So to start with, GBC stands for the Great Ball Contraption. Okay, it's a machine designed basically just to move Lego footballs and basketballs around. These here. Okay, that's what it's all it's doing. Oh, there's the video. There's the camera. That's all it's doing, moving them around. So there are rules for GBC. There's the GBC standard, but there's all sorts of kind of details to it. But the main bit of it is that each module should have an in basket that the balls go into, and then they should output the balls so that they would go into the next module's in basket. And those baskets have a minimum size. Okay, so they should be 10 by 10 outside dimensions. So show you what I've got here. This basket here is 10 by 10. So that's here. This is where the balls go into, and it is also 10 high. So that's a standard input. What you do after that can be anything. So you get some very basic machines and you get some very complex machines. So I'm going to show you a few different modules. So you get a lot of the very complex machines use a lot of these very simple starting points. Starting here, this is a ball pump. The one I just had a bit in my hand was a ball pump as well. It's like a different one, but this is a ball pump. So the balls go in where the green tiles are, and they go up that grey tube where you can see the basketballs coming out the top. And this one's actually set to recirculate, so you can see that as those basketballs come out the top there, they're going to drop back into the input. So the balls just go round in a circle. Okay, you can turn the top round so the balls will pass on to the next module. This one is what we call a stepper. So the balls come in from the left, and the two white and black sections on the right hand side there go up and down, and the balls walk up the steps and then out the top on the right hand side. So that's just a basic stepper, and stepper of modules of varying designs come into all sorts of things. This is a conveyor. So again, balls in from the left, and you've got that conveyor belt on the right hand side that just lifts the balls up and chucks them out the top and on to the next module. So those are all very, very sort of basic, simple modules. This one's similar size, but slightly more complex. It's called a cardan lift, and I've actually got a version of this that I'll show you working in a second. That has the balls going into the green box, and then that red axles you can see up at the top there, they turn around and pick up the balls, lift them over the top, and chuck them out on the right hand side. So it's quite a small module, but it's quite a complex design to get that to work. And so we're getting into more complex modules here. So we've then gotten to this, and this is one by a Japanese designer called Akiyuki. He designed some very complex machines, some really, really good machines. And this one's called Wheel and Steps, and I've got this as well actually built. So I shall show you mine in a minute. But the balls come in from the left-hand side. They go round the yellow wheel. The yellow wheel lifts them up. They then go along to those steps. So the sticky up bits in the middle there are steps. The balls go up those steps and then down the zigzag ramps at the end and out the end. Okay, so again, it's a wheel, which is fairly basic, and steps. This is another one of Akiyuki, so we're now getting onto really complex modules here. So this is the cycloid drive. The balls come in from the left, they go out from the right, but that bit in the middle, don't ask me how that works. It's very complex. The black bit in the middle turns around and moves around up and down, and the balls kind of go round through those yellow sections and then get pushed out at the top. It's quite impressive to watch. Not one I've built. So you can see you've got some very complex modules to very simple modules. You've got quite a range there. This is the module I had in my hand a minute ago, the ball pump. So this is a simple ball pump. This one's designed by Brian Lano, and it was designed for the Brick World show in, I'm trying to remember what year it was now, 2018, so a couple of years ago, for Brick World. In America, they do GBC workshops where you can go along and buy the pieces, build kits, okay, which is something we'd planned to do at Where's the Bricks this year, but for obvious reasons we've not been able to, but we will be doing that next year, which is why I'm doing this for Ely. So this is what I'm going to show you the build of. So I've built this. It's not a complex build. It doesn't have many very complex pieces, not much technique. You can see there a lot of that is just normal bricks. This is the parts list for it. So you can see most of that is regular bricks. Technic bricks on the left hand side there, a few Technic bricks, a few Technic beams and axles. Not a lot that's really going to be hard to get hold of. They're all lots of the stuff you've got. But also, you don't have to have those exact pieces in a lot of cases. So the one I've built, actually, I don't have some of those bits. So I've made it out of slightly different pieces, but it does the same job. When I've looked at the instructions, I replaced some pieces to make it work for what I had available. So let's show you my modules that I've got here to hand. There we go. So we have this camera. So this module here, this was the first GBC module I ever built. It's a lot of these that I'm showing you, because they're nice simple modules, are the workshop modules. So this was designed for Brick World in 2017 by a guy called Brian Bonhomme. I think that's his name. I think that's how you pronounce it. So that's for the 2017 Brick World show, and it's fairly simple. It just goes up and down like that. So balls come in here. Let's get some balls. And you see, as this dips down, balls drop into it, lifts them up. You'll also see that as it goes up, it lifts this section slightly, just to give the balls a bit of a jiggle to try and keep them moving. That's it. So as far as a simple module goes, that's pretty basic to build. That's why I built it. As you can see, just out of whatever bricks I had, there's a bit of a fire engine on the top there. There's all sorts of bricks in there, but it's mainly normal, regular bricks. A few Technic cogs, a few Technic bricks just for the moving bits, but not a lot really that you know. I would imagine most people have got most of those parts at home already. Next one I've got to show you is this one, which is a conveyor. Okay, this again is, as I say, most of these are workshop modules. This was designed for the 2014 Brick World module. Don't know who designed it. So just plug it in, get it working. So balls come down our ramp like that, and just get lifted up. The two blue pins lift them up, and chuck them out. As I say, it's a fairly simple mechanism, but it has this, it meets the standard that obviously this isn't a brick built 10 by 10 thing, but it, that is the equivalent. Balls can land on there, roll in there. It's the right height. Okay, so this, these two modules, this one could feed into that one. So we could actually, let's go for it. Let's do it. I'm not going to join them all up because I'll run out of space. But I can start with that. And you'll see. So that then just chucks the balls down onto there, onto the conveyor, out the other end. And there we have it. Very straightforward. Right. Next up we have this module. Now this module was really clever designed to be stackable. So the idea of this design was that you could build lots of these and stack them up one on top of the other. So get it in shot. Put some balls in for you. So you can see we've again, this bit here is our agitator this time. These bits on the outside they just give the balls a knock, keep them moving so that it doesn't get jammed up here. It then gets picked up by the teeth there, lifted over the top and out that end. Well, these are still getting clear it all out. But as you can see again, very basic in terms of brick usage. Most of this, almost all of this, is very simple bits. Obviously, the bits in here are Technic pieces. We've got some couple of cogs on the back, random balls stuck in the back. But the main structure of it is very simple. And the idea was, as I say, these stacked up and in like a spiral, so they all work together. Now, next up we have the cardan lift. Okay, so this is by Laurie George. This was designed for the 29 Brick Fair. There's lots of cardan lift designs, but this one specifically was designed for Brick Fair last year. So again, we have got our input here. There's a little stepper there. This section here, the yellow white with the blue bit, is a stepper. This goes up and down, putting balls onto here. Our green bit, which then feeds the balls come out here into this. This lifts them over the top and into there. Let's see if I can get it up to a decent angle so you can see it going. Is it going to work for me? No, it's getting stuck. There we go. You can always rely on GBC modules to get stuck when you don't want them to. So for some reason this one is now going to get the ball stuck a little bit. There we go. Obviously just needs adjusting somewhere. It's such a clever design, this idea of lifting them over the top and then going back the way you've come. So check them out. See if we get that fault. There we go. There we go. That's a card on lift. As you can see, made just using whatever bricks I had, which is why it's very multicolored, and a lot more sort of technique to this, the complex cogs and stuff going on here to make all this work. It's really very clever. Right, then one of the Akiyuki designs. So this, as one of the ones that we have a picture of, is the wheel and steps. Now this was the second module I ever built. Okay, so yeah, I went from a very, very basic module to something that's quite complex. But because you can get the instructions, these people have made the instructions available, means you can tackle these quite complex machines, impressive looking machines. In the early days of building GBC, so I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. So I'm going to attempt. So obviously I can't get it all in shot at once. So balls coming at the bottom. Right. So wheel goes around. You can see it is picking up the balls here and lifting up, and there's a hole at the top, so they disappear through that hole. I'm going to pause it in there and move it across. So the balls come out of this hole here, and then you're onto these steps. I'm going to move those two balls just in case it looks wrong. Right. And then as these steps go up and down, the balls walk up the steps. This is one of my favourite views of GBCs. This up these steps, and then you can see they then go down the zigzag there at the end and off the end. And that is it. So, yeah. So, as you can see, built out of whatever bricks I had, because it's very multicoloured. I have started to make it a bit nicer, so I've started colour coding my steps, and my slopes are a bit kind of rainbowy now. They were very random colours, but they've gone a bit more rainbow and colour coordinated. So I'm gradually making it look a bit prettier, because it was a bit of a mess. Oh. So, the last module is our ball pump. So, as I say, I've built this ball pump, so we're going to build it first. So there it is. Okay, so here we are with our build. We start off with just a fairly basic brick built base, and mostly regular bricks. You'll see slight different shades of grey there where I didn't have quite the right pieces in the right shade. I was trying to colour coordinate it all. You can see most of that's just fairly regular bricks, some Technic bricks with holes on to get the axles through. But other than that, fairly basic. You can see that red piece, couldn't find a grey one that size, really annoying. But you know, so just putting some pieces in there to make the steps go up and down. These are the steps. Let's get the balls to move about. There we go. It's almost done. That's the most complex piece of the whole build. That is the main working. They're about the only bit. That's the only bit the motor's attached to. It's the only bit that moves automatically. Everything else then is just bricks. So our axle has gone through there and our cog's attached. It's all now connected to the motor. And then we're just leveling it up to get our floor in. You see those steps are wobbling around a bit at the moment, so with these bricks outside there, just hold them in place. Now they'll just go straight up and down when the cogs turn. There's the front one done. And we need to make the floor section. I think I do this wrong to start with. I have to take it to pieces. Yeah, move the bits around a bit. That's it. Doesn't work. Move them out. There. Now it fits. Tiles across the top. A nice smooth area for the ball. And then you will see here that we've got our agitator that goes on the top there. That bit spins around, keeps all the balls moving. You'll see that in action in a little bit. So that's it. That's everything that moves now. The agitator is the last piece. We're now just basically building the size to get the balls to go where we want them to go. As I say, I'm following instructions, but I don't necessarily have all the exact right bits. I'm just using pieces to fill the same amount of space. Those corner bits, for instance, they're the wrong shape. I'm using 4x2s. I think they were should be 3x3s. It doesn't matter. They do the same job. They angle the balls around the corners. So you know you can make your own adaptations based once you've got the instructions. In fact, use what bricks you've got to fill the spaces. Annoyingly, I couldn't find any yellow ones of those, which is why I've got grey bricks on that level. These are our flags coming in here. They stop the balls dropping back down when they've been pushed up by the step. That stops them dropping back down. And a little window there so we can see the balls inside. Windows on the front, and that completes then with some bricks around the edge of the actual kind of pit where the balls are going in. And one more layer of bricks around there. There we go. Tiles on the top to make it look nice. You'll see I keep swapping bricks because I'm not using the correct pieces. I'd already built it and then taken it to pieces, and then I've realised, oh, actually I needed those bits that I'd put on there, so I pulled those off again because I need them for this bit. And again, I think I'll take this piece to piece again. I realise I've done it the wrong way around because I'm not following the instructions exactly. It's my own version of the instructions, so it's some of the bricks are slightly different positions and things. So there we go, and that's basically it. That's the tower. That needs to go on the top. Doesn't fit. That's because I've missed some pieces off. So it does help if you put all the bricks on. There we go. Now it goes on. And that's according to the instructions, how it should look. These bits down the side, put some Technic beams in to hold the cog on the front, and then beams down the either side, just because if the balls get jammed inside, it can pull the whole thing to pieces. So these beams down the side just help, so if it gets stuck, it doesn't just break. It should stay together. There we go, chuck some balls in, and out they come. Now the great thing with the ball pump is you can make it as tall as you like. So you see I've got 3 more sections there that I've put on the top to make the whole ball pump much higher. And there it is. So it's quite a nice pump. So chuck my balls in, plug it in, and we shall get it going. So all these balls you'll see are permanently moving, and you see them straight away. They're coming up the windows, out the top. And that agitator is turning around in there, keeping these balls moving around so that they all drop in where they're supposed to be. And then they come out the top. And that is it. That is a ball pump. A couple more balls. There we go. And that lot will all now just sit in there doing that because I've got no more balls. So there's nothing else to push into it. So, hopefully that's been interesting for you. Just seeing how GBCs work and getting some ideas. As I say, you can get instructions for lots. All of these that I've got here have all got instructions. So if you Google Great Ball Contractors or GBC, you'll find them. But good places, there's the Great Ball Pit is a good place for instructions. Planet GBC, Great Ball Contraption have their own wiki. So if you search for the Great Ball Contraption wiki, you find that. There are lots of other websites and things as places as well. Rebrickable, there are some on there. But most of these people are the instructions of these have been produced for free. So people design them, and then either they make their own instructions or somebody else looks at their model and produces instructions of them. But for most of all of these are free instructions. I've not paid for any of these. There are places you can buy instructions as well. There's companies that make instructions, but you can get them for free. So have a look around, see what you might be interested in. Check out the other GBC videos. As I say, I think Duncan's got a big one of his layout, and I think there might be 1 or 2 others as well. And come and see us at some of the shows. And if you've built a module, take it along to a show. Get chatting to us. come and see us. We'll give it a test run. The first show I went to, I just took those first 2 modules that I built. So the ramp, this one, there's the camera, there, that one. It's plugged in, so I can't pull it in there. I took that one and the wheel and steps, the bigger one. They were the only 2 I took. I'd arranged to meet another guy there, and we put them together. I put them with his, and ran the show. So do get involved. It's a great way to get shown at events, and a great way to get a bit more technical with your builds. So hope you've enjoyed this. Hope it's been interesting for you, and hope it's inspired you. Get building.